When we think of Congress, we imagine lawmakers shaping the future of the nation. But behind the polished speeches and campaign promises, some of America's most powerful politicians have carried dark secrets. From bribery and fraud to sex crimes and even manslaughter, these cases reveal just how far corruption and criminal behavior have reached in Washington. Here are the worst criminals in U.S. Congress. Bob Menendez made history in the worst way when he became the first sitting senator ever convicted as a foreign agent. In 2024, prosecutors revealed that he had accepted bribes in the form of cash, gold bars, and even a luxury car in exchange for political favors. The scandal shook Washington, and in January 2025, Menendez was handed an 11-year prison sentence, where he remains today. George Santos became one of the most notorious fraudsters in Congress. Exposed in 2024, he was found guilty of wire fraud, identity theft, and money laundering schemes that involved more than $500,000. From misusing campaign funds to stealing from donors, Santos built his rise on lies. By April 2025, the courts came down hard, sentencing him to over 7 years in prison and ordering hefty restitution. Bill Janklo's crime wasn't financial corruption, but a deadly act of recklessness. In 2003, he ran a stop sign at high speed, crashing into and killing a motorcyclist. Yet instead of facing the kind of punishment an ordinary citizen would expect, the former governor and congressman walked away with just 100 days in jail. A life lost, but the system handed Janklo what looked like a slap on the wrist. Mel Reynolds' case remains one of the darkest in congressional history. In 1995, he was convicted on 12 counts, including sexual assault, obstruction of justice, and solicitation of child pornography. His crimes, many involving minors, shocked the nation and landed him behind bars until 2001, when his sentence was commuted by President Clinton. Reynolds' name became permanently associated with scandal and disgrace. Ted Kennedy's Chappaquiddick incident in 1969 remains one of the most infamous scandals in Senate history. After driving his car off a bridge, passenger Mary Jo Kopinchny drowned, while Kennedy fled the scene and didn't report the accident until hours later, though he pleaded guilty to leaving the scene and received only a suspended sentence. Anthony Weiner's downfall was both shocking and disturbing. Once seen as a rising star in New York politics, he spiraled into scandal after repeatedly being caught in sexting controversies. In 2017, things turned criminal when he sent explicit images to a 15-year-old girl. Convicted and branded a sex offender, Weiner served 18 months in prison, his career and reputation completely destroyed. Stephen Stockman turned his congressional office into a personal piggy bank. Convicted in 2018, he was found guilty of 23 counts including fraud, money laundering, and false statements. Investigators discovered he had siphoned over $800,000 from donors, using charitable contributions to cover personal luxuries and illegal campaign expenses. Stockman's scheme earned him a decade-long prison sentence. Chaka Fattah, once a respected Philadelphia lawmaker, saw his career collapse in disgrace. In 2016, he was convicted on 23 counts of racketeering, fraud, and money laundering, tied to more than $600,000 in campaign and charitable funds. Fattah's abuse of power and betrayal of public trust led to a 10-year sentence, though health concerns allowed his release in 2020. Rick Renzi's crimes revealed a dark side of political deal-making. In 2013, he was convicted on 17 counts, including conspiracy, wire fraud, and extortion. At the heart of the case was a corrupt land deal where Renzi abused his office for financial gain. His fall from grace ended with a 3-year prison sentence, stripping away what was once a promising career. William Jefferson's case remains unforgettable, largely because of the $90,000 in cash agents found stuffed in his freezer. In 2009, he was convicted of 11 counts of bribery and racketeering after taking hundreds of thousands in payoffs from businesses. The brazen corruption shocked the public, and Jefferson paid the price with a 13-year prison term, though appeals later reduced his time. Randy Cunningham went from decorated fighter pilot to one of Congress's biggest corruption stories. In 2005, he admitted to taking $2.4 million in bribes from defense contractors in exchange for lucrative government contracts. The scandal embarrassed Washington and highlighted deep flaws in oversight. Cunningham was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. Jim Traficant was one of Congress's most colorful figures, known for his eccentric speeches and wild hair. But in 2002, the theatrics ended when he was convicted on 10 felony counts of bribery, racketeering, and tax evasion. Investigators revealed he had pocketed kickbacks and forced staff to hand over part of their salaries. Traficant was sentenced to 8 years and expelled from Congress in disgrace. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and hit subscribe for more political breakdowns.